Good morning, everyone. This is Marianne Francis, LMFT from Transforming Hearts, PLLC. And I want to welcome you all this morning. I know I just kind of spontaneously hopped on live today. It's been quite some time since um, I've actually been on social media. I gave myself a couple weeks break as I was away on vacation. And this morning, I just wanted to share some information um, with you all and seeing if this resonates with anyone, and if it does, let me know. Right, so interesting thing happened this weekend where I went for a massage, and granted, I enjoy my massages a lot, but I usually don't get a male massage therapist. I usually always stick with the females, and this weekend I had a male. And so he gave me a great massage. I really appreciated it, but he did something different that other massage therapists haven't really done to the extent that he did. And he gave me a good stretch. And what I mean by that, like my legs went back, I'm going this way, and a regular stretch that I would probably do it after I exercise. Like a lot of times when I'm exercising, she'll do a minute cool down, and we're just kind of stretching ourselves and things like that. And then, afterwards, it got me to thinking, like, this is interesting. I haven't stretched out my own body intentionally in quite some time. And again, like I haven't, there's been maybe a month or so that I haven't worked out. And so, therefore, my body is not getting the stretch that it typically needs. Doesn't mean I'm not walking, I'm not doing other things, but the reality is that I haven't been taking care of my body in the way that I guess I should, right? Not guess I should, that I really should, right? And being intentional about that. And the stretch felt so good. And in my head, I'm like, all right, I got to create this intention. This next week or so, or moving on forward, like, what am I going to do to help my body? And then that went down to kind of a rabbit hole as to my next thought in my head. And I realized, like, when I was away for the last couple of weeks, I realized that I was sleeping a lot more often. My body was getting the rest that maybe it had needed for quite some time. But then I'm back at home, and it feels good to be back at home. And I'm like, okay, for myself, why am I still not feeling as refreshed as I should? Right. And I'm sleeping through the night, and sometimes I can't because I have allergies, and anybody who's my client knows that. So, at night, sometimes I do have difficulty sleeping, which in the morning I don't feel as refreshed. But when I went back to kind of think about it, and I thought about the times that I have woken up, felt refreshed, and was like immediately motivated to go. Um, it's been quite some time since that's happened. And in my head, I'm like, I wonder why. Now, here's the part I want you all to think about and see if it starts resonating with you in some type of way. So, oftentimes I realize that I wake up in the morning and my alarm might go off. So, I might shut it off, or I might shut it off and I'm just laying in bed. After I lay in bed, there are a lot of times I'm picking up my phone and kind of scrolling through social media. And I don't really interact in the morning on social media a lot of the times because it's just too early for a lot of that stuff. But yet I'm scrolling, right? I don't scroll for long. I just usually just scroll, kind of see what's going on in the world. And I'm just like, but why? Why and when did I create that habit for myself that was the first thing that I did in the morning, right? And I'm not sure if a lot of other people do the same thing. In fact, I'm sure a lot of other people do the same thing. So, so if you do, like, comment below and let me know that that's something that you have done, and over time that's kind of the habit that you have built for yourself, right? So, going back, So after I realized this yesterday morning, right, I'm like, I want to start feeling refreshed again. There used to be a time where I felt refreshed, energized, ready to go. I wasn't looking at a phone. I would just get out of bed, do what I had to do immediately, and start off my day. Now my day has changed where this is how it's going, and I feel like I'm laying in bed a little bit longer than I used to. And I'm starting to not like that feeling anymore, right? I want to create a new habit for myself, because then I got into thinking like, this is my laziness. There is times when I get out of the bed and I'm like, all I want to do is get back into the bed and just lay there for, I don't know, however long that I want to lay there, right? And I continuously have that habit of wanting to do that, even though um, it's beautiful outside, it's nice, I want to create a new routine, but a lot of times my mind is saying, no, girl, get back into bed. And I don't want that anymore. I want to be able to change that up so that way in the morning I can feel that refreshness. I can enjoy the mornings. I can do what I have to do before I start my work day. And because I enjoy my work. I enjoy what I do, but sometimes in the morning I'm feeling sluggish. And it's my mindset that has changed to this laziness that I didn't once before have. It's the habit that I've created within myself and the new morning routine that I set myself of laying in the bed longer than I feel like is needed. And then the phone and scrolling adds to that extra feeling of laziness, because now my mind is just going, just on stuff that doesn't really matter, right? How many people does this resonate with? So, what I had decided to do as of yesterday is I said, you know what? Instead of just laying in the bed scrolling, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to start stretching. I liked the stretch that I received during my massage. I need the stretch. My body needs the stretch. So I'm going to stretch. And I spent about a couple minutes stretching my body out, and man, did it feel good. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to create a new mindset, new habit. I'm going to add some positive affirmations into it. So went on YouTube, and while I was stretching, now I have the positive affirmations going. And so this, what it helped me do yesterday, is say, this is your new intention of how you should start off your day. Because the after feeling was, I feel good. I feel at least a little bit energized. And I'm not going to lie. It's not like I was like, oh, yes, this is the greatest. And now I feel up and going, because my mind isn't there yet. So I want you to take some time and think about that too. Oftentimes we're so used to instant gratification and things happening, at a moment's time, and wanting it to happen, when the reality is it takes time to kind of process that change. It takes time for you to create the new habit, and give yourself that grace in that space to allow for those new habits to form. Because if the end result and the goal is for you to feel much better and feel rejuvenated and feel refreshed, then you have to give yourself that time and space to do these steps day by day in order to start feeling that way, and acknowledging that, ooh, this does feel better, but it's not like I feel 100% that I'm where I want to be right now, but I know I can get there. So this morning, I kind of did the same thing. I ate my breakfast. I actually went outside. I ate my breakfast. And I'll tell you, like, before I went to eat my breakfast, I was in bed, and then I picked up my phone and I went to scroll on social media. And then I was like, Medi, what are you doing? So I put down my phone. I said, nope, we're not going to do this. And so I put on the affirmations, and then I began stretching again. And it doesn't have to be a long time, right? I think I did it for a couple of minutes, but that felt good to me. So then afterwards, I started my morning. went downstairs, ate breakfast, and I took my breakfast outside on my back porch because I'm like, you know what? This is the new wave. I'm trying to create this intention. I need some sunshine, um, that energy to kind of pull in. And while I was sitting there eating my breakfast, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of in the mood and feeling for a motivational speech. So I went back on the YouTube and just put whatever I had found. And I'm just listening to the motivational speaking as I'm eating my breakfast because again, my intention is to reset my mind. It's to do something different than I had been doing in order to get to my end goal of feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. And after I did that, I was ready to go. For me, I was up, ready to go. Okay, let's start my day. I have some errands to run before I go to work, but this is kind of what helped motivate me. Again, there was a part of me that after I got out of the bed, I was like, I want to hop back into the bed. But I didn't. I did not do that because for me, it's saying the small steps that I'm taking every day have to be intentional and have to be go towards my goal. And I can't accomplish that if I am allowing my mind to tell me what I should do, and that is it identified the laziness part. That laziness came on as saying, you really want to be lazy. And there's a difference between being lazy and not having the energy and the motivation, right? There are differences, and on top of that, feeling burnout and feeling exhausted. I know I don't feel burnout. I know I don't feel exhausted, right? I know it's not a lack of motivation. It's more of just the fact that I'm so used to being lazy in the morning that it's a little bit harder for me to get up and going. So I want you to also identify if you're being lazy because you've gotten so used to just doing nothing, or is it that you are experiencing burnout? Does your body need something else? Does it really need to be refreshed and rejuvenated in a different capacity? But if it's just about being lazy, what can you do every day to help yourself kind of change that mindset and feel rejuvenated and refreshed? So, here's what I am going to do, right? So, I am challenging anybody to join this with me, right? And seeing if there's something that you want to be able to change about your routine. It doesn't have to be in the morning. Maybe it's a nighttime routine that you might have. Maybe it's during the day, whatever it might be. Is there a habit that you want to be able to change because you've identified a sense or source of laziness and you're like, I want to be able to change out of that? So, if that's so, let's take it just in a week's time, right? And let's identify some of those challenges or some of the good parts about it that you have experienced during this time, right? And in doing so, the first 5 people that comment on the video below, I will actually send you the Transforming Hearts journal. So that way you can write down in your journal, what were your challenges? What were some of the things that helped you feel better? How did you feel during the day? Whatever it is that you want to kind of reflect on during this week's time. I started this yesterday. Today is Tuesday. So, what I'll do is hop on live again next Tuesday and we'll kind of check in and see where you're at in your journey. How did it feel? I'll talk about my experience, about how I felt after intentionally changing my morning routine and kind of seeing where we go from there. So, if you guys are ready, if you'd like to, just comment below. Let me know that you're up for the challenge. And the first 5 people to comment journal, I'll definitely send you a journal. So watch out for your DMs, because then I'll need your information, so that way I can send out the journal. And I actually think this is a great segue, because on Friday we will be having, and that is Friday the 12th, we will be having a guest speaker on live, and his brand is called Five, and it's a great mission that he has, and I can't wait to talk to you guys all about it and have him here online, on live, because it's such a motivational type of branding that he's doing, and it's empowering, it's inspiring. And I think, again, when we talk about what motivates you, what's your purpose, what's going to be intentional for you, I think this kind of falls in line, sort of, to aligns with his mission as well. So, definitely join us then. I'll have the information for you all up soon, so that way you guys can prepare and be on the live with us, and it'll be a great conversation. But in the meantime, let's see where we can get at in the next week. So next Tuesday, I'll be back on and just kind of checking in, sharing my experiences. Let's identify your laziness. All right, y'all.